do my best. Alright, there we go. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think is going to be this week's finalist for ESL Open Cup Americas in this ZvZ. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the most recent KSL SummerSlam champion. Representing CranKy Gaming, it is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player. He is red, representing Onside Gaming. It is Solar. Here we go. Hatch, gas pool all around. So far, standard openers. Solar, of course, being dubbed the Serral Slayer. Recently, he's been just dominant over Serral. We saw that in WTL. We saw that in Gamers 8 as well. And yeah, we can see. Hold on. Crazy. Just double checking. But yeah, Solar, he seems to be a bit of a specialist. His speciality seems to be ZvZ, as yeah, he took down Serral at Gamers 8. He obviously took down Serral twice in WTL in most recent times. But he's up against Dark, and I would say that Dark is a different beast compared to Serral. Dark himself is very willing to be aggressive, very willing to be in the face of his opponent, so this ZvZ could go either way. Wouldn't be surprised if it goes to the ace match. Which does happen quite often between these two players. We also have confirmation. It is going to be a ZvT final, so my condolences if you're a Protoss fan in the chat, if you're a Protoss player. I apologize, but Creator was the last Protoss hope. He was the last hope for the Kala, and Creator did meet his end at the hands of Dark. I mentioned earlier, this week, Classic and Hero did not compete and did not participate in ESL Americas, so you're same with Max Packs. So your typical Protoss representatives, your Protoss players that typically go on these deep runs, they are not here this week, unfortunately. So it is going to be a ZvT finals with a TVT and a ZvZ in both semifinals respectively. The mirror matchups are upon us. And these mirror matchups could go either way. For the time being, we have a hatch gas pool opener. Third base is being taken on time. Neither player is cutting corners. Neither player is going to be skipping their baneling nests. Everything is looking as it should. So no big point of divergence yet, until now. Dark is very fond of this. He throws down these very early Roach Warrens, as he does hide it behind his mineral line. There's a very common practice here from Dark, as Soul is still committing to his Ling Bane. Same can be said for Dark, as he does swat away that Ling. Does force Solar back for now. Here we go, Solar's going to be moving out. He does morph in one Baneling across the map as well, which is going to get spotted by Dark. Yeah, that Baneling will not finish. So Solar trying to be a little bit aggressive here. He has 16 more Lings in production. Solar going to be doubling down on his own Ling Bane aggression. Meanwhile, Dark is racing into Roaches. 7 Roaches on the way. Dark is going to be going all in. He's going to be cutting workers at 27. Going for a big hatch tech timing here with Roaches, with Lings. And with Banelings. As you can see, Solar trying to snipe that Baneling, but Dark will keep it alive. And he's just banking up his Roaches back at home. Dark, he needs these Banelings not really to kill his opponent, but to protect his Roaches from these Lynx rounds. And here we go, the Roaches are on the way. Solar going for a big counterattack. He's going to be trying to catch these Roaches, or even just avoid them entirely. And Solar's in a really rough place right now. We have defensive Banelings for Dark, so he's safe back at home. Roaches are pushing forward. Lings are coming in from behind, but we have Banelings. No! Big connection. Solar, he's losing too much. The Lings cannot get on top of the Roaches of Dark. And it looks like GG gets called in one swift move. Dark takes game 1. GG. Going for a Roach Lingbane all in. I think it was 8 Roaches in total for Dark. And Solar just didn't see it coming until it was too late. When he went across the map with his Lings, he couldn't attack the natural, he couldn't engage with the Roaches, no defensive Spine Crawlers, and no Roach Warren from Solar either. So again, he was in the dark as to what was happening. And very quickly, things escalated out of control. Dark takes game 1. And now we are getting ready for game number 2. As we're getting some updates, it looks like Byun is also up 1-0 against Gumiho. There you go. We are being notified. We'll see who finishes first. The semi-finalists, they're racing to the finals. All the way, all the way. Here we go, we're getting into game 2, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Grass Farm, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming, up 1-0 in this best of 3 series, 1 game away from making it into the grand finals. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Onside Gaming. It is Solar. He needs to bring it back here and now. Catching up. What is this copy pasta? I see an argument for easier macro, to let players have more fun with army control. I'd have much less problem with all buildings on one hotkey or order rally if there was actually 10 to 20 times value add to active micro, rather than 1.5 to 2 times value for micro. As it is, army control and skill expression due to hard counter design and smooth unit behavior mean that micro doesn't win battles, but unit comp and concave wins battles instead. Copy pasta mistake. I was about to say, it's an interesting copy pasta. Shaking my head. True. 2 times value. So good. I was expecting the where's the Dark copy pasta? I saw a bunch of like Dark hashtags in the chat. Hashtag Dark's big meaty hands. But where is it? Where's the Dark copy pasta? I know someone has it saved. Someone has to have it saved in the chat. I'm looking at you, Frost. I'm looking. Where is it? We're gonna need it. Dark needs it. Oh. As for now, hatch gas pool, standard openers from our players. As to be expected, link speed is going to be on the way as well. And really, we're going to be just having a look at the timings of the third and what happens around that time as well. If anyone commits to Lingbane aggression, if we end up heading towards fast Roach Warren again, or fast Evo Chambers. So far, Solar just going to be taking his third base. Likewise, so is Dark. So again, nothing too out of the norm. Nothing too crazy. Not yet. Oh, and honestly, you know what? I need some time to catch my breath as well. Okay, after game 1, it was crazy, but it was crazy. Things escalated very quickly, ended very suddenly. Ooh, for now, Baneling Nest from both players. No one is cutting any corners. Baneling Nests are on the way. Third bases as well. Everyone is droning. Everyone is saturating their bases very happily, very cheerfully. Even if Dark throws down a fast Roach one, I don't expect him to be as aggressive and as in Solar's face as he was in the previous game. As Dark is denied the scout. And ooh, we see Solar going for a much faster Roach Warren this time. So this time it's going to be Solar with the faster Roaches as opposed to Dark. What's also important is that Solar isn't hiding it. So there's a higher chance for Dark to come across that Roach Warren and be aware of it and be able to respond with his own. Speaking of, Ling comes in, Ling scouts, Dark knows about the Roach Warren. And that should trigger a defensive Roach Warren from Dark as well, as he is making a lot of Lings. And there is the Roach Warren on the way. But yeah, Dark just flooding into so many Lings. They're all moving out across the map, getting ready for an attack. Meanwhile, Solar, he does dip in, is able to scout the Roach Warren of his opponent. Solar, he knows the advantage that he has, and he's already commencing Roach production. And here comes Dark. He's looking for a surround on that Queen, but if anything comes in, Solar does keep the Queen alive. We have Banelings waddling in from the north and from the south. Banelings coming in from every direction. And they are getting into the mineral lines. Only one, though. Good reaction out of Solar. It takes 2 Banelings to kill a drone, and we can see so many softened up workers here in the natural. Solar, though, he keeps up. He loses almost nothing. And now he's going for his own Roach push. And now Dark is on the back foot. He just spent a lot of gas on Banelings that didn't really achieve much of anything. And now it's going to turn into Roach v Roach. And Solar has the Roach lead. Here we go, he's pushing out across the map. Actually, he's turning back around here. He's really respecting the Lings here of Dark. Doesn't want to throw anything away, doesn't want to get caught off guard. And now both players are droning. Dark, he cancels the Spine Crawlers. He was expecting an attack. He knew that he needed spines to be able to hold on and survive. But Soul was just posturing, and Dark gets faked out. At least he cancels. Ooh, as he's heavily supply blocked. 6 Overlords on the way. Oof. As Dark is going to try to saturate his bases, but Solar has a massive economic lead. Solar looking to skyrocket ahead. He's taking all 6 gases. We have a Spire on the way. Dark also working on a Spire, but his gas income is nowhere near as strong as his opponent's. So even though not much has happened this game, Solar has a really big lead. It was Dark's failed aggression, and on top of that, the supply block. On top of that, just the feigned attack of Solar as well. Dark is on the back foot. He's not out of this yet, but he is going to be playing from behind. He has some catching up to do. He does cancel the 4th at least once. He could do it for a 2nd time as well. That is helping. Solar likewise working on Roach speed, working on +1 range. We can see that Dark, he is putting all of his eggs into one basket. He is skipping his upgrades here and going, he's just banking up so much for mutas instead. There we go. Dark, he takes his gases at his 3rd. He's prioritizing gases at his 4th. But here comes Solar. Looking at the units tab here, Solar, he is heavily up in the Roach supply, in the Roach count. We can see Solar going for Corruptors. He scouted earlier. He saw the lack of upgrades on the Roach Warren and the Evo Chamber, so he knows that, again, there's nothing to defend. Meanwhile, at the same time, Dark is going to look to deny the 4th. But he's going to be losing everything else back at home. Lings, they get into the natural base. 3rd base will go down. Meanwhile, Solar, with his defensive Banelings, he's doing really well for himself. Cleans up the Lings, loses his 3rd. Mutas have revealed themselves. And Solar, instead of pushing into the natural base, he's rotating over towards the 4th base of Dark, looking to shut down another one of these hatcheries. Now, Dark will clean this up. He has a lot of mutas. He's going in towards 15 mutas. But we have Corruptors on the way. We have an answer for those Mutalisks, as the Corruptors have revealed themselves. Oh, and Solar, he just has so much. He has an overwhelming Roach army. He has plenty of Corruptors in the air as well. The Roaches are looking to break on through, and while the Mutas deal with the Corruptors, while they're kept busy, I mean, they will win the fight in the air. The Roaches, they win the fight on the ground, and they're pushing on through. They're looking for some economic damage to take down these bases. Solar kiting his heart out here, trying to preserve his units. He's coming in with more reinforcements, and this is just too much. This is just getting out of control. Again, Dark just too far behind from the early game. GG gets called, and Solar ties up the series 1-1. GG. Dark, he did a decent job at denying the fourth once. Like, that was the start of, like, clawing his way back in, but alas, he wasn't able to really touch the economy of Solar. He was scouted. He read him like a book, and of course, with his advantage, he was able to take a lead in the end, maintain his lead, and kill Dark before he could really get going. And now we have an ace match. We have a game 3. Meanwhile, do we have any updates? It looks like we do. Oh my god! The upper semis were faster. The TVT has concluded. We just got an update. Björn 2-0'd Gumiho, and Björn is waiting in the grand finals for either Solar or Dark. Meanwhile, are we going to get a rematch? Dark did play against Björn last night in the finals of ESL Americas, and Dark 3-0'd Björn. It was crazy how dominant he was looking. It was really impressive to see how Dark was able to perform against Terran again. But Dark may not have a chance. He may not have the opportunity here to make his way in, as Solar is looking to pose quite a challenge here to Dark. Solar, one more. Uno mas, papi, uno mas, and he can get his way into the finals. Let's go. It all comes down to this. Also, there it is. Rowbags had it. Oh my god, Este Rowbags. I want... Hold on. Jesus. I want Dark's big, hairy... Was Harry always there? Big, hairy, sweaty arms to hold me so tight while he kisses his Valencia trophy like no tomorrow. And I want him to call me my little Zergling. I'm gonna scream back, Park Ryung-woo, as he holds me down and spanks my butt with his big, meaty hands. And really, that passage is what our player here was missing. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Dragon KZ Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Onside Gaming, tying up the series 1-1 in that last game. It is Solar. Here we go. Again, Solar having a really strong start to that last game, snowballing into a victory. And it comes down to the wire. It comes down to this final game to figure out who faces off against Björn in the grand finals. Is it going to be Solar or is it going to be Dark? Who will it be? Who will be the Zerg representative here in this week's ESL Open Cup Americas? Oh boy. So far, standard openers, hatch gas pool from Dark. Likewise, a hatch gas pool from Solar as well. So very economic. But it all comes down to what happens when the third is being taken. I don't expect any of these players to go for 2-base Roach or 2-base play in general. I feel like that's just not the MO for either Solar or Dark. If Ragnarok was here, then sure, maybe. But Solar and Dark? No, Bobby. Less so. So for now, we are getting into this. Again, we're kind of nearing the end of the broadcast as well. We do have our semifinals wrapping up with this last game, and once this does conclude, we're going to be heading towards the grand finals as well. For those that are curious, this is not going to be our last broadcast of the night, of the day, sorry, in how many hours from now? 9 hours. Oh boy. In 9 hours time, we're going to be live with the Masters Coliseum with day 1 of the playoff brackets, and I will have to nap beforehand. I'm going to have to try to get in as much sleep as I can, because that's going to be a long broadcast, and that's a lot of games. A lot of games are going to be taking place here in Masters Coliseum. So I'm going to be looking to get some breakfast, and then get some veg, and then wake up and cast. That'll be us tonight. Until then, though, third bases are being taken. Bailey Nester on the way as well. Both Solar and Dark are playing in Masters Coliseum. By the way, they will be playing tonight. So they're on that grind set. So are Classic and Hero, which may be why they're not here. Just getting in some extra rest and extra sleep for the night. Or for tonight. Oh, and here we go. Dark is the first player to be the aggressor here, as we have 16 Lings on the way for Dark. Bailey Nest about to finish off for both players. Solar is droning. Dark is not. Oh boy, Dark. He just does not know how to chill in ZvZ. It's just not a thing. Here we go. Bailings are on the way. Bailings are on the way on the right-hand side. Lings flooding across the map. Likewise, we have defensive Bailings coming in for Solar as well. Finishing up just in time. Dark is going to be able to start chipping away at the third base. The first Bailing is going to get wasted. Not the best control from Solar, but he has 2 Bailings left. Oh god! As he takes a Bailing to the face, he loses another. Solar has been lacking a little bit here when it comes to his control, his own defensive Bailing control, and as well as avoiding the Bailings of his opponent. So Dark has been able to out-trade his opponent. Has been able to just trade better overall, and yeah, he's just, oh god! Zoning Solar back. Zoning him away. We get a surround of the queens, and 1 queen will fall. Good trades from Dark. Behind this, Dark, he takes a worker lead. He's up in workers, and as long as he has defensive Bailings, he should be okay. There we go. 2 Bailings are on the way back at home for Dark. Will get supply blocked by losing that Overlord, but for the most part, he is, I'm sure, content with the trades overall. Looking at the units tab here, units lost tab, we do see just a better trade overall for Dark. And he's not done. Oh my god. He's nowhere near being done. He's rolling in here with 6 Bailings, 3 pairs, rolling into that natural base, trying to get into that mineral line. And it looks like we will be able to break on through the birches, though. They have arrived. And the drones are kept safe. In the natural, they kept safe. Not so much at the third. As Solar, he's down in workers, but he is making nothing but roaches. He's moving out across the map, going for a big counterattack. Solar is droning behind this, so it looks like he may even just be posturing. He may just decide to turn back around. We'll see if he commits, as Dark has his own roaches on the way. Oh, Lings, they bypass the Bailings. They do get into the main. Roaches are arriving as well. Dark is in some trouble. Dark is in a lot of trouble. The Roaches are pushing on through, trying to find a good angle of attack. Lings, though, they come in from behind. 2 drones go down in the main base. Solar, he's just consolidating his army. And it looks like he's going to catch some more Roaches. He gets a roach. He's going to be looking for a queen. Bailings are rolling on in. Oh god! And now it's Dark's turn to take a Bailing to the face. But it looks like Solar took a little bit too long. Lings have arrived. Roaches as well. And Dark is going to clean this up. Again, Solar, he was posturing here for like a good 30 seconds. He wasn't committing. And he gave Dark time here to build up an army. Dark does hold on. And Dark doesn't have a lair. Oh boy. So as Solar is droning and as Solar is taking his gases and getting his economy up and running, Dark, he sees that. He does see the prioritization of the gases here. He does see how economic Solar is being. And Dark, I don't think he's going to drone. Yeah, we have Ravagers on the way. He's amassing more Lings, more Roaches. Dark is going to be going for one big all-in. No lair, no +2, no roach speed. We're hitting with +1. One way or another, the game is about to end. Solar also has his own roach army. He's going to be down in the upgrades, but he has a comparable roach force to Dark. This is going to be close. This is going to be very close. Oh, Dark coming in a little bit too soon is going to lose some roaches early on. Bailings do roll in. They do soften up the roaches of Solar. Lings are coming in to reinforce Dark. He has to force the issue. He has to kill Solar here and now. And he is breaking on through, but we have 11 roaches in production. Solar, he just needs time. And it looks like he's going to get that time. Solar, he will be able to hold on. His own upgrades are kicking in. +1 roach speed. reinforcements, and Solar, he deflects Dark, and that's going to be it. Dark has nothing left. He has no lair, he has no upgrades, he can't get into +2. Solar is about to catch up here with his own +1. Dark, he was hoping that Solar was droning. He was hoping that Solar was maybe being too greedy and hoping to catch Solar with his pants down. But the pants were up. The belt was secure. And Solar's going for his own counterattack here. Is Solar overextending? It looks like he is a little bit. He's waiting for reinforcements. Solar, he is up 10 roaches, but they're not all here. Here we go. +1 range does kick in. He has the better concave. He is breaking on through. Oh, we can see Dark barely holding on. With his queens with transfuse. Dark, can he hold? And it looks like he barely should. This is such a close fight, but yeah, he barely holds on. I do think that Solar was a little bit too trigger happy. I do think that he pushed in when he should have been like just waiting for some more reinforcements. Solar still has the economic lead. Still has roach speed over his opponent. Dark is doing everything he can to hold on. He's surviving. But I don't know if he's really living here. Dark, though, going for a big counterattack with those lings. Those lings, they got a lot of work to do, but we have reinforcements back at home, and it looks like Solar has finally done it. He's finally broken through. Only one queen is left. Clutch transfuse. And GG gets called. Solar, he does it. He fights back, taking down Dark 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Solar, the ZvZ specialist. He doesn't just take down Cyril, he takes down Dark as well. In a very close game. And Solar makes it to the grand finals. We won't have a rematch. We won't have a repeat of last night. Again, last night it was Dark versus Bjorn. This morning, it's Solar versus Bjorn instead. And I think Bjorn is happy about that. Bjorn has been struggling recently. He has been struggling against Dark. I do think that Bjorn has a better chance against Solar, and I do think that there's more of a chance that this is more back and forth here, not just a straight 3-0 in either direction. Oh, let's go. GG.